Good morning. I am Wendy Chrisman, and I teach here also at CCAD. Come on. Okay. I am an academic and a rhetorician and a theorist by trade, so I'm kind of an oddball amongst the artists and designers here. And because of that, I'm also a really tangential talker. I tend to talk a lot at length, ad nauseum. So instead of going through my presentation like this, I made a really simple and also unsophisticated, I guess, video to watch instead so that I can get through in the 10 minutes that we are allowed. And I apologize in advance again also for the unsophisticated nature of this because I don't have the skills in doing this actually as a writer.
Good morning, and welcome to
this is also my first video ever that I've ever made. So it's also, and again, this is also a rhetorical device here for me apologizing 5 times, but this is also a model of why I might need to collaborate, because if I collaborated with somebody, I would have a much better video than I have here. And I can think of about 1 billion people that could help me do this. So I want to preface this really quickly that this is based on 2 of the classes that we offer here. Writing in the Arts, which is a first-year writing class, and everybody has to take it unless you test out of it. And also a second-year writing class, Art of Persuasion. And this is the first semester that I've taught this, and I have 1 billion things that I could say about this. It's been really a lot of fun, but it's also very interesting teaching this to the different years from freshman to senior. Very different ball of wax for each of the groups. This whole presentation is based on that class and the ways that I'm envisioning it as being already collaborative, because in these kinds of classes you collaborate with each other all through the semester, but also I want it to be collaborative in a much larger way, and I do think that's possible. So this is what this is about.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2014 AICAD Symposium. I'm Wendy Chrisman, and I'm going to talk to you about an important form of collaborative action that I think has the potential for even greater collaborative action. This is based on 2 courses that I teach here at CCAD, Writing in the Arts and Art of Persuasion, and they both use the same model for teaching. And what happens is the students pick a topic that they explore the entire semester, just one topic, and each student picks one topic of their own that they explore the entire semester. They spend a great deal of time researching about it. They spend a great deal of time talking about it in roundtables and in conferences with me. They spend more time researching about it. They spend a lot of time writing about it using the rhetorical appeals, ethos, logos, and pathos, and so on, and more time researching it and some time counter-arguing it. And then they make a project that they present to the class, and then they write up a process analysis of how everything went, and then they make some revisions based on all. Ideally, these topics are of significance that have some gravitas to them, things that will help them discover who they are as artists and designers, and possibly be related to their fields, and possibly be something that they can put in their portfolio, in their professional portfolio at some point, or continue to work on it after this class is over. As you can see also, these assignments all fit together like pieces of a puzzle. They all build off of each other. And they also all rely on the basic principles of rhetoric, and usually contemporary rhetoric along with some classical Aristotelian rhetoric. To give you some examples, we talk about context, of course, and logos, ethos, and pathos, the rhetorical appeals. So let me give you an example of how that might work in this class. If I were a student and I picked collaboration and its importance in a art and design school or in a first-year writing class, what would I need to do to support those claims? Well, I'd want to produce some visual rhetoric, so I have. The following visual rhetoric was compiled primarily using the mission statements and the websites from all 43 schools in the AICAD consortium, plus its 3 international affiliate schools. In looking at the first graph here, we see that the percentages of first-year writing classes in higher education is displayed. If you see the top line, that's the AICAD members. So all of these schools that are AICAD members, 100% of them have a first-year writing class. If you look at the next one, it's the NASAD members, and almost 100%, about 2 don't have a required first-year writing class, and those, I think, are the culinary schools. And then the final one is all other colleges and universities in the known universe. All but about 2 of those ever have required writing classes in the first year. So basically, almost everyone does. Now, in the next graph, you see the tag horse of the AICAD school's mission statements. For this one, I compiled all of the mission statements, the core values, and the visions of all of the AICAD schools, and then ran a tag cloud search to see what terms popped up the most. And as you can see, the most frequent or most reoccurring term was community, and that was at 58. From all of the mission statements of all of the AICAD schools, community showed up 58 times. But you can also see that collaboration actually only showed up 11 times. So out of all of those mission statements, the things that were the most prevalent were community, diverse and professional, society, responsibility, but collaboration was really not at the front and center. It was at the low end of the pack. And then I have one more, and that would be the frequency that the term collaborate appears on websites of AICAD schools. So I did a Google site-specific search for the terms collaborative, collaborate, collaboration, and collaborating for the entire websites for each of the schools, the AICAD schools, and found that those words appeared a total of 72,249 times, which is a lot. Not so much in the mission statements, but it's definitely a lot in the overall websites. One interesting point, though, was that of all of the schools that are the AICAD members, one school, those words only appeared 14 times in the website total, and then in another school, those words appeared 9,080 times, which is a significant difference between the two. So either this school just happens to have a lot of access to being able to collaborate, or this school just has not very much access at all. The other thing that I could say about this is that we see that collaboration is important to the AICAD schools, but we also see that it's not necessarily happening as much as we want for it to be. But we also can point to the fact that the one thing we do know is every AICAD school has a first-year writing class. Granted, some students test out of it, but every school has a first-year writing class. It is the cornerstone of the art and design school. It's the cornerstone of all colleges, in fact, because, again, almost every college requires a first-year writing class. So it seems that the first-year writing class would be a good place for collaboration to actually occur. So how exactly could that happen for a class like this, or really for any class at an art and design school, but particularly in relationship to a first-year writing class? I suggest that we have digital commonplaces for the 21st Century Art and Design College first-year writing course. A commonplace in classical rhetoric is basically synonymous with a topic of invention or a place to find things. So think of it as a digital repository or a storage box. So what would go into this digital commonplace? For this class, I suggest things like a repository for essays, images, assignments, articles, videos, artwork, themes, heuristic materials, credible sources, etc., that are topic-specific and discipline-specific, project guidelines and policies and rubrics, the same for presentations, articles and videos of advice on speaking and presenting, links to suggested software, alternative platforms, accessories for making projects and presentations and sample syllabi, libraries of credible sources, online and print periodical journals, newspapers, magazines, databases, gateways, links to other AICAD schools, projects, and commonplaces. These could be externally collaborative, in other words, open source, or they could be internally collaborative and only shared within one's own school, or it could be both, so that you can trade all these materials and add to all these materials. There are a lot of places that you could make a digital commonplace, and these are things that I think most people are familiar with. In fact, any open source learning management system, they already have guest or observer access, so you could do it there. But even the proprietary ones also have those functions often. Basically, there are lots of places online for a digital commonplace, and these could be as cheap as being free or something that's already a system that your institution is using. We can go over this more in detail in the roundtable. I want to say a little bit, though, about the idea of internal collaboration, which I think is very important. And if you're thinking of internal collaboration as being vertical integration or in-house construction, one way that I'm envisioning this is that in your own institution, if you have upper class or honors students work on these different projects with teachers for making things like videos, applications, and other materials that would be used in a first-year course, and particularly in a course like this. Like when I want to do a canned lecture on rhetoric, I've learned over the years how to do it, but I can guarantee that a student could help me do it faster. This is something that engages everyone in the production of materials. It provides a professional experience for students. It provides them either pay or course credit for their work. Even the maintenance of the commonplaces can be done by students, just like the site updates and the arrangement and design and so on. But this is also a way for other assignments to happen in other courses that go in conjunction with this. The other thing I wanted to mention is mobility. The AICAD mobility program, I admittedly know very little about, but it sounds like a really good potential opportunity for students from one AICAD institution to participate at another AICAD institution and possibly work on some of these kinds of projects. So some other things that I could talk about in the roundtable is some models of collaboration that have been successful, some questions for future collaborations. I have a lot of my students work on here that they have done in these classes. These are the topics that they typically pick from. I can show you some more common places that I have created and that I'm going to continue building for the rest of my career. I have a lot of my students' opinions on here as well about how the classes helped them, what they've learned from the class. I can also answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Okay. So, everything that's I'll make the video available, but it's also part of this is actually the website that I built with Wix. Everything that I built here, I used free sources. Everything that I give, all of the materials that I use in my class for my students are all free sources. Everything that they build their projects with are all free sources. So it's basically the cheapest you could ever do in a classroom and still get really magnificent results. But I'll make this video and the website available so you can see it better, but I'll also go over it in great detail in the workshop. So I hope people come to that. Thank you.